Hey, sixth grade. This is your math lesson for Monday, March the 30th. Lesson 135 is due on this date, Monday, March the 30th. And lesson 136 is due for Tuesday. So we will just look over a few of the answers on 135 and talk a little bit about what is on 136. Let's figure out this interest problem that's on the board. Remember that interest is the amount of money that you pay a loan company to borrow. So you borrow a certain amount of money and you pay them for that service. That's the way banks, that's the way loan companies make their money. They're not just lending money for nothing. So you pay to borrow. That is interest. The formula for interest is principal, the amount that you actually borrow, times the rate, the percentage of what you're paying on this, and how long, the time. Okay? So principal times rate times time equals interest. So in this case, 70,000 times 5% times 15 years equals your amount of interest. So let's do it. What does 5% look like? So here we're going to have 70,000 times, what is 5% as a decimal? Okay? Don't forget about this. Make sure you get it right. 5% means 5 over 100, 5 hundredths, which looks like this, right? I'm going to put the multiplication sign in, and times 15. Don't forget to put your dollar sign in these when you finish with them, okay? It's talking about money, so your answer will be dollars. Carefully do the math. And again, it does not matter which of these multiplication problems you start with. Let's start with this. 15 times 0.05 is what? 75, don't have to do the 0, 0, that's not going to change anything. Decimal point, 2 places, 1, 2, so you have 0.75. All right, now you are multiplying 0.75 by 70,000. 0.75 times, you can stick all these zeros out the back, 70, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 times 5, 35, 49 plus 3 is 52. Put the decimal point, 1, 2, 1, 2, put your dollar sign. You will pay $52,500 in interest for this loan of $70,000 for 5% for 15 years, okay? If you just make the minimum monthly payment, you will pay $52,500 in interest. So it's simply multiply principal times rate times time. Just be careful, okay? You're working with a big number. Remember these zeros. Stick them out the end so you don't have a bunch of columns to work with. Remember your decimal. 5% is 0.05. Remember to put your decimal in at the right place. 2 places right here, dollar sign in the answer, and that is interest. All right, let's just look at a few of the answers. Have lesson 135 in your notebook where you can see it, and let's just make sure that you got these answers. If you got wrong answers, figure out what's up, right? Number 1, you should have $300. Number 3, just look at that lesson 129 and make sure you know the numbers for the prefixes. Okay, I'm not going to give you them, just go back and look. Those should be memorized because I'm sure they'll come up on a test, probably the very next test. You will have to either give the prefixes for the number or the numbers for the prefixes. Number 9, look at the answer for number 9. 7.9 grams equals how many decigrams? You're moving one place to the right from grams to decigrams. Move your decimal point one place to the right, 79 decigrams. 11, 10 centigrams equals how many milligrams? Again, just moving one place to the right, so 10 centigrams becomes 100 milligrams. 13, what is the ratio? So you have the wording, 17 is 34% of 50. Make sure you have this in your head. 17 goes over 50. Those are the numbers. 17 over 50 equals 34 over always 100%. Okay, so that one denominator is always going to be 100. 17 is part of the 50, right? 50 is total, so 50 is across from the 100. 17 is a part, that's the 34%, they go together. 17 over 50 equals 34 over 100. Number 15 then gives the ratio, 13 over 25 equals 52 over 100. Make sure you know the wording of that. 13 is 52% of 25. 13 is 52% of 25. All right, skip over to number 21. No, not 21, sorry. Yes, look at 21 actually. 21, the answer is 35%. Is that what you got? So you have 7 over 20 equals what over 100? 7 over 20 equals what over 100? And you simply use proportion to solve that. 7 over 20 equals what over 100? So you have 20 times x equals 700. Do the math. If it's asking for a percent, then make sure you have percent in the answer, 35%. 29, the area of a triangle, 225 square inches, 225 square inches. Just give you that so we for sure aren't forgetting about how to do those kinds of things. Lesson 136 in your books, page 278, is getting information from a circle graph. It is fairly self-explanatory. I don't think we're going to talk much about it. Look at questions like six and 7. What kind of park represents a little less than 1/4? So you need to know about what 1/4 looks like, and that's what 1 through 3 is doing. Just giving you a representation. So if you split a circle up into 4 parts, what does one of those look like? The same thing with question 7. What kind of park represents about 1/3? Which of those is closest to 1/3? If you do the circle in 3 parts, which of those would be closest to 1/3? And again, you can look at the percents and the numbers, which would be closer to 25% is 1/4. So if you have a number that's close to 25%, that's your number that's close to 1/4. It won't be exactly, but it'll be close. So I don't think I'm going to say any more about that. Make sure that lesson 136 is finished for Tuesday, the 31st, last day of March. Thank you.